Hey everyone, this is Tracy Lewis with Stuffin' Things. It is paper pumpkin time. Hub picked this up for me, so I did not get a video of us bringing this home. It is the November paper pumpkin filled with joy. I know nothing about this kit. I have done a very good job of ignoring all of the information about this kit. Oh, we have stockings. Do you guys remember years ago when we had white stockings with green and black check tops? And I was able to emboss those with an embossing folder. So let's see what we can do with this. But of course I will be converting all of this to A2 size cards. So we're going to ignore the stamp set for now. Poppy Parade is the Stampin' Spot. We have 8 stockings. I would imagine they think we can stamp on this. And then when you're done, you fold it down. Oh yeah. Maybe you turn it inside out. Huh. Well, we're going to just figure out what's going on with that. It feels very thin. Very thin. What have we got? I need to... Oh, okay. Well, there's what we've got. This is not a coordinating with the last month's Christmas card kit. And my blade is very dull. We have pre-printed ornaments. Grab, we have some artwork on the back here. My artwork did get a little folded. So our stamp set has Sending Lots of Cheer from Santa, Holly Jolly. Love that for the insides of cards and envelopes. Sim with those. In fact, everything. Are very cute. You can do some really cool, clean and simple cards filled with joy. To from Merry Christmas. And again, the artwork is exactly the size that you see. So I am going to be taking all of these bits apart. We do have little mini dimensionals, of which I have got plenty of minis left. We have these little cute pins, so that's cute, but we will be having to extend this kit. We only get enough tags, 8 tags, for the 8 stockings. So let's just see what we can do with these. I'm interested in actually putting these on a card. So let's see. I should not have spoiled the surprise, I suppose, of what I want to do. I have to figure out if there's a way to cut this down so that it does fit and it still looks like a stocking. So more on that I will investigate, and I will be coming back. There will be more added supplies than normal. Colors. Let's tell you what the colors are that we're going to get to play with. Flirty Flamingo, Pool Party, Poppy Parade, Shaded Spruce, and Very Vanilla. So, I will be bringing more to the table than normal. Maybe in the die set area. We've got some labels that we'll need to make. Probably plenty of ornaments to make some cards, but not enough for, let's see, we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12 ornaments with 8 labels. So definitely going to be bringing more to this one to make it work. So stay tuned, and I will be back with materials and prep very soon. I am back, and I am ready to talk about materials, and I may do some simple stamping because I know there are some folks that want to get the most that they can out of the kit and maybe don't have a lot of supplies. So I am going to do some simple stamping. I've got some basic white here, so we will do that after going through the supplies. So I'm going to go through one thing that I always do when I can at all possible. We have 4 ornament shapes. This is one of them. The others are actually already sitting on some layouts that I'm going to share. So here's some remnants that I cut out. I cut out 1 of each shape. And what I typically do, and I have pretty much amassed a collection of these because I do this for every kit and I keep every kit. So I will create stencils. I used extra fat blue tape. So now that I have covered both sides with my extra fat blue tape, it's just what I had in my stash. So it is, 2 inches wide, 1.5, something like that. And since I am not going to stamp immediately, I'm closing my ink. All right, so I've started one, and you literally just tear off pieces. You make, this one's nice and easy. The other one had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. And this is going to be square. You will want to cover any of the exposed little shapes. So these are the little gold tops. So I covered mine. We will use these stencils on one of the basic stamped card. We will make a couple of them. So the big thing I will talk about, I call it the elephant in the room, is the stocking. So I had to embrace that stocking. That stocking is not sized appropriately to be put on a card. So I've done some research. I've done some mocking up, a lot of cutting. And I can't wait to share with you what I did with the stocking, because I think if you are like me and you want to make cards. All right, so that's one side, and then you just flip it over and finish it off nicely so that, and then I fold the edges. Once I put my pieces down, there'll be some sticky edges overhanging, and I will fold them down or trim them off. So the stocking is a good one, and there needs to be a lot of added supplies. So we do have a limited amount of die cuts, but I went ahead and picked what I thought was a good, I have to work with what supplies I have, of course. And so I have 3 die sets that I have done some cutting for demonstration purposes, but really you can use whatever Christmassy shapes work with you, with what you've got. I had a stocking sort of a theme, but that's not strong on this one because I went with going with something that coordinates with the ornament. All right, so like this is sticky. I am just folding it down. Oh, and then it's sticky on the other side. We've got both sides sticky. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cut it off. I just had the scissors. We'll use some baby scissors. Nope, I've got my snips right here. And then I have all of my stencils filed away. And no, I don't put the year and the date or anything. I have like holiday stencils. A lot of my holiday stencils are bigger, so they're actually in a file folder. And that's where these will end up. I have definitely amassed. So here is my completed stencil for this shape. I feel sticky here, so I'm going to just fold it over. All right. I've got 2 shapes done. I have stamps here. My inks for today, for what we're doing, I've only grabbed 2 inks. I just grabbed Shaded Spruce and Poppy Parade. I no longer open my spots. I collect them. Someday I will have to sell them because they will not ever be used by me. I grabbed, going through some added supplies before we do the simple stamping, Poppy Parade, Shaded Spruce, very vanilla, Pool Party. So these are the accent colors that I have used. And then I want to talk a little bit about trims. There are some nice, very vanilla. We're dealing with very vanilla, though when I do the simple stamping, I will use basic white. So adhesive backed swirl dots, pastel. This is retired, but it is a nice soft gold. The gold on the ornament is a specific color. I just had an ornament. What did I just do with it? All right, so we have the gold. There's regular gold foil, and then there's a new brushed gold that is very brassy. I am using the brassy gold. I cannot find my regular gold. I do have the old brushed. It had 2 gold colors. This is like the champagne color, and the brushed brighter gold color that I've used up would have been perfect for this. So for my purposes, I will be using this brassier. So that's just something to be aware of. It was really fun working on a kit that does not have card bases and does not have envelopes. It's been a while since I've been challenged like that. All right, so we've got adhesive backed metallic gems if you want to get kind of fancy. There's all sorts of little sparkly gems. These are called sparkle gems. So just whatever you have will work. And what I have 2 sets of here, I use them a lot, use them for Thanksgiving, is Neutrals adhesive backed sequins, has a lovely gold and a nice white, which we're not using the white. We will be using, because we're doing very vanilla. Okay, so those are for not trims, bling. Trims. We have a bunch of somewhat delicate type trims. It's what I feel works best, although I do have one chunky trim to share. So this is the combo silver and gold 1/8. We have the Baker's Twine Essentials, has very vanilla. There is a new thread. I am looking for my notes. Here we are, purple notes. I wrote my notes today on my unicorn pad from the Dollar Tree. Okay, so Lost Lagoon soft cording is, I bought it just purely because it was beautiful, and it goes great. So I will point it out. It's actually fairly light. It's not as dark as Lost Lagoon is. The new gold twisted thread, I have a bow made from that. And then the gold and silver and Baker's Twine Essentials. So those are the 4 that I've been playing with. And the die cuts sets are Decorative Trees and Iconic Imagery. So far I've only used the stars from Iconic Imagery. And then I've used 1 label die from Christmas Labels. The stamp set is fairly small, so that's why those labels the Christmas labels fit nicely. And they're fancy, so I like them. I've done a couple of different types of labels with them. And then we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, as I will call it. We have these lovely stockings. So when the stockings with the green and black folded over, they were really tiny compared to these, were out, I was able to emboss and get a pattern from them. So I have embossed one, and it's not a very strong pattern. It's probably maybe the embossing folder itself. So if you have a yen or an idea that you might want to emboss on this, go ahead and try it. Can't go wrong trying it. So let's talk about embossing folders. I have, this is the embossing folder, the new trees. It's a 3D one, and that's the one that I embossed the stocking that I have, that the pattern just is kind of like, you can't really tell what it is. It is patterned though. It, you know, has a texture to it. Snowflakes. I pulled this old Merry Melody 3D. It is upside down, and you have to have the treble and bass clef on the left side, so remember that if you have that hanging around. Timber 3D wouldn't be too bad, so I just pulled it out. Forever Plaid. So Hub noted, he's looking at it because I had a sample done, and he's like, this line is crooked. I'm like, it's because it's an artsy crafty plaid. It's not a perfect made for fabric plaid. So he's very picky. Oh, and here was the other evergreen trees that is retired. So for DSP, I looked around and grabbed some fun, fancy paper to play with. Today, I've actually cut some pieces out of these Very Vanilla from Nature's Sweetness. Seasons of Green and Gold. It wouldn't be the shaded spruce. Actually, is that shaded spruce? It might be shaded spruce. So we've got lots of gold. This is not Very Vanilla, but we have Very Vanilla on the back. So there is quite a bit of Very Vanilla in here to play with. Again, not shaded spruce though. So we have a favorite from last year that is still current, and that is Winter Meadow. Winter Meadow has a fantastic pattern right here that actually has enough of the green in it, shaded spruce-ish, that I have, this is a strip, and I have a sample card using it. Then if you wanted to go silver, you wouldn't be able to use the ornaments. It would just be something you would do with the stamps, I would think, because we are limited on our color palette with the ornaments and the stocking. We have, this is the silver that goes with the gold that I already told you was really brassy, and that is the new current fun stuff. Naturally Gilded has one piece. It's silver, copper, and the gold happens to be Very Vanilla, so that is a good option if you have any of that. There's this lovely shaded spruce. Oh no, that is Pretty Peacock. Real red, and then white, and they all have gold pieces, and so you could play with this. There's nothing on the back. Regal Distressed Patterns is what that is called. So these are all sitting out. And before I get to what did I do with the darn stocking, I want to stamp a little bit, see what we can come up with. I am going to use this pad to stamp on. The stamps for this are quite small. No, and I need my piece of scratch paper. a big pile of it back here. All right. Here is we've got these sentiments to work with. I'm going to start with just using Poppy Parade. So the funny thing about Christmas colors, sharing a little bit about Hub and I, he is a Poppy Parade and garden green colored Christmas person. I am like real red and shaded spruce. So using Poppy Parade here, it's very orange to me. But Hub loves it. So he thinks that real red isn't real red, even though the name of it is real red. He still, to him, it's not real red. So the first one I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a very simple. Oh, that is not inked up. I have not prepped these in any way. The stamps, I know that some people have issues with them and want to prime them and do some different things. And I have not. I really like because I mail most of my cards out to everyone, I really like the sentiment, sending lots of cheer. That is a favorite of mine. So that is a clean and simple card. I did center it a little too much. It's because I was going to put Merry Christmas below, and I ended up, because these bows lined up, putting it on top. I should have placed them down lower. And then before I move on from this, I maybe can't. Yep. Okay, I am grabbing a gold. All right, so there is one clean and simple card that if somebody just didn't have a lot of supplies, they had cardstock. That would be just very cute. And the red does go through, so we're going to just set that aside and grab another one. So we do have, so this is a pretty much a retro theme to me. Kind of looks like Fallout, if you guys have watched the Fallout series. I have played all of the games. I'm going to still keep it Poppy Parade. And there you have a very 60s, to me 60s, maybe even 50s. I don't know, what do you guys think? So there is a fun all over design. And that one actually might be able to do one. I'm going to do shaded spruce and red now. All right, that's probably my favorite. So there you go, some ideas for simple stamping. This isn't too bad either. But I think I like the all over ones the best. This isn't my favorite. And I like that. with the little gold dots. Okay, stocking. So I thought the very first thing I wanted to do for cards was cut up the stocking and see how many parts of the stocking I could use. And here is what I have come up with. First I did a more traditional, I used most of the stocking. And this is in line with what the theme is for the kit. Only you're making a tag and then you put it on the card. This is a 4x6. These were from last year. This year the option is a 4x6 set of cards that come with some other sizes, and it's all basic white. We don't have any decorated ones. But you could always use very vanilla, use a base and make your own. So I really liked on one of the stockings that I took apart, I cut off the ribbing and I made it trim and made a bow. And then you can use, I made little stars. I always use sequins, so I thought it would be fun to actually, since I had the die cutter out for cutting the trees. And you could, I used Filled with Joy with the green, which is the other color of the tag. There are two colors. There's that pink, which happens to go with this particular card base. So the two tag colors are that color and then the pink. So I cut Filled with Joy, and I actually made 3 different labels out of, I was curious how much of this green label I could use, and I made 3 tags out of it. So there is one fun thing done with the stocking, and look, I'm so close, and this is a 4x6, so it's too big. But I will be getting some photography. I could actually raise you guys up a tiny bit. Let's see if that is tall enough now. Yep. I can barely fit the whole thing in. So you could actually do a different, here's the next thing I did with parts and pieces from the stocking. The stocking has, I am looking for, what did I do with them? I will have to pull out an entire stocking. Oh, here we go. I see them all. So I took the top of the stocking and I cut it off and then cut it into pieces, and then I cut this stitched end off, and it ends up being folded. So then I cut it down the middle and I made 2 strips that look like this, that look perfect for making a tag undermat. So then I took that tag and I taped a piece of the red, and I am looking for something. My desk becomes a bomb, and I don't even know how this ended up over there. So there is adding, so we have these little pops of color, and that Lost Lagoon is actually quite light colored to me. So there is another design with a different tag. I find that the red on this tag is, it comes out muted. So what I haven't done that I think would be really cool is making a gold heat embossed Merry Christmas. So I think that this is the best way if you really want the stocking to look like a stocking. You have to just embrace the size of it. You could even possibly tilt the angle a little bit and like cut part of the toe off would look cute. I think purposefully having it go off the end really looks cute. So I will absolutely be finishing up. I only have this particular 4x6 card set had red and balmy blue, and it comes with it has an envelope. You can't get these this year. These were specific to last year. Here is the balmy blue one, so that one doesn't really work, and I only have one of each. I did add white snow dots on it, so I will probably be finishing this one in some fashion. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We'll do this after we do some layouts. We'll do another demo. All right, so basically the next thing I did, because I was curious, so here's all the pieces that I was cutting up. And then I have, here's one that I haven't even cut. This is just one stocking that made all of these pieces. And it also made, so it's two-sided because it is an actual stocking. This is the back side of the stocking, and here's what I did with the back side of the stocking. I took the non-decorative decorative trees die, and I was able to cut a tree. In fact, I cut a couple of them. So now I will share. So I was able to get, for just the bottom part of the stocking, I was able to make 2. So basically, if there's 8 stockings, I can't remember if there's 8. I believe there's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, so we have 8 stockings. So I get 2 for each bottom, so that's 4 per stocking. And then you have all of the top stuff to cut up and tie and play with, front and back again. So that's 4 trees, or whatever you could do. Holly, I don't think it needs to be any specific, just some sort of a holiday shape works. Trees is just what I happened to have purchased. So that's 32 trees to play with. And then all of these, so I mean, you could create with something like this, not necessarily with these ornaments, because you only have so many of the ornaments, like maybe 12 is all that you get. But you have a lot of pieces with this stocking, and you can come up with a nice vintage feel. And I haven't even done any distressing. You could distress this. You could color the edges with the sponge. You could do all sorts of things with these trees. I just kind of left them natural. So now I want to create a couple of designs for you. So I took pool party. Oh, and I have a pool party fun element. But for now, I'm going to just go ahead and pop this on top. And you could add more layers. You can add gold. I don't have any gold pieces cut. You can add very vanilla if you wanted to add a piece. Oh, and here's another piece of stocking I haven't even cut open. If I had planned more carefully, I could have got more than one bow out of this red edging. I would cut all the way around the stocking and get like two bows, I think you could get out of it. So using my little pop-up, put this like that. Now I haven't, what I would do is I would die cut in very vanilla as a base underneath, unless you like it kind of soft and floppy looking. So there you have that. And then I don't have the normal amount of bases that I normally have. I have 1, 2, 3. Well, I have 4. Usually I try to do 5. So I think we might be able to finish off with the materials that I have here. What I think I might do, if I want to add this Merry Christmas, I want to move the fabric element up and away. Then I will pop this up. Don't forget also, if you want to go even fancier, my favorite foil trick is that I cut strips and I would line a layer underneath this red with strips. And then we have stars. I did the stars, like I said, to be different because I always use the sequins and dots. So using some die cuts. So you see the sort of rustic look. We do have 2 trees, so there's nothing saying that we can't do a triple tree card. We can, now I would be stretching my materials out, but you absolutely could do, I suppose you could even do this. Because you've got a lot of the stocking material to make lots of trees. And then I would put the bow on the ornament. Making sure to offset everything. Adding all right. So I really like that. I really like the pool party and the poppy parade. Do this. I just want to use this red piece. You could easily do this. You can either cut this into 2 pieces and have it on either side, or just use a long piece. Gotta love that. I suppose we could try to go fancy here and center a tree. This is where I would like the sentimental Christmas tree because you've got the musical notes. I almost need another sentiment. This is okay. These are harder to pick up than sequins. And then I've already lost one. That's how that goes. But I do have an extra. All right, so there's that design. If you are not liking how chunky this cute bow is, you can always use this one. And then finally, there's the gold bow. I did do one other fun thing. Oh, and there's the extra. Now, I did try this, and I'm going to show you that to me, it doesn't work, but maybe it will work. I did keep, so this is a piece of real Poppy Parade with watered down gold watercolor in a pan, bought from Temu. So we've got that. Here is a stocking. Can we make, it's not very stocking-like because this is the one that I cut the red. So will they get it? It is totally up to you whether or not you think you can, because if you cut it apart and then you use this as a bow, then you end up with 2 stockings. So you're doubling your stocking count. I would, at this point, maybe add this very cute snowflake tree from Decorative Trees. I really like the little, we got that little pin thing that came with the kit. And an ornament, maybe down here. This is a little bit small. If I were to do this, I wouldn't have cut it so tight. So there's Filled with Joy. So I like that there's so many stocking elements that every single card, you can even tilt it like that. Look at that. Every single card can have some of that fabric canvasy look. So there's that Filled with Joy. And then there's the, let's get rid of that. We can just move it down here out of the way. I would probably shift this to this side as a layer and move this over here. Yep, I like that. Lots of layers going on. Very nice. Okay, so one word of caution. This bow is really thick, and I think since I mail most of my cards, I will have to put this on a hand-delivered card. If you don't like it, you need to mail it, just put one of these on there. You can even switch it to gold. And you could say, I'm just going to leave the pin the way it is, and I'm going to put a bow on the ornament. And don't forget, you have different shapes of ornaments. I have only used that shape, but you could put this guy on. So now we've got our final, totally different look. Let's see what we can do with that. You'll notice that I always reuse my pieces, so I cut this out of here, and I could have flipped and cut another one. I do have to make sure that stay far enough away from the edges so that this can be a mat. And I do want it to be not a narrow mat because I wanted the star or snowflakes to show. And it is technically vertical, but I don't know that anybody would notice. All right, so our last base is this. It is double embossed. You'll see what looks like snowflakes in a softer tone. That actually was the snowflake embossing folder first, then the trees second. I told you that I had used this lovely strip. Notice part of my tree does show, but there's a variety of ways to hide it. We're going to do some design work here. This is one of the decorative trees, really fun top pieces. I just have to cover that little hole. I could have placed it better. And you don't even have to have this line up perfectly. You could offset it. You can add, you know, we're going to go fancy. And there is a third tree floating around here. So there's that tree. You could do all sorts of things in the background with a set of 3 trees. Here is a fancy label. I'm going to try to do this vertically next. You can use... I don't know that that goes very well. Where's our gold bow? The gold bow was on this one. You can either put the gold bow here, like that, or you can put the gold bow up at the top of one of the trees, any one of them, on the tree. I kept the fabric going, but let's see that's not going to work. So we can't really put this on, just so you know. It does not work with the blue-green theme we've got going. But we can take and maybe replace this one with green. Kind of have this down further. Make that fancy. Put the gold bow on the fabric. Oh, gotta watch that hole. I think this right here is my favorite decorative tree design. I would almost want to move this to the other side. Like that. Okay, so I said I was going to try to go vertical. The other thing I wouldn't mind before I go vertical I don't know if I have any of the pieces in the right dimensions. I have this, and I need to, that might work. I have to trim that off, technically. Do I have a tall enough ornament? That's a little on the rough side. I'm just going to put this down here. I think it would be a bit of a waste of all of these cute ornaments. Now we're going to go vertical. Now, if we're going to go vertical, we're pretending that it is not a Christmas tree. We're just going to go with something like that. And I haven't, can you do red? Maybe. Because I would like to do, is it too busy? Am I going off the deep end here? I wonder if, with all of that busyness, can I put this Christmas tree somewhere over here? Can I switch to a smaller sentiment? Yeah, that's better. My plaid is very torqued. Stars. All right, there's that. And now I want to eliminate this and go back to that rustic look. Oh, there, I'm liking that. I hope that this has given you some ideas for how to embrace the stockings and use them for making countless Christmas cards, and very cute ones. I think that's it. The only other interesting idea, we've got some layers here. We've got to add some more pool party if we want. Yeah, see, isn't that nice? I like that. So there's just all sorts of ways to use these pieces and convert them to be useful on A2 size cards. So that is it. Do all of the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing. And I will see you next month. Please put in the comments any other creative ways that you thought to do something with the stocking to put it on A2 size cards. I would love to get your ideas. And thanks for watching.